just going to allow people to filter in for a couple of minutes. Okay, I'll make a start. So welcome everybody to our webinar this afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Michelle Farragon. I'm the Programme Director here at the Digital Care Hub for Better Security, Better Care. And I'm really pleased for us to be able to host this webinar today, introducing you to our brand new eLearning resource. Many of you will know that for the past almost a year, I think, we've had free eLearning for staff members running via our website, which has been incredibly well received. People have been back on that, and the feedback's been great. And one of the things people were asking for is, can we have more? What we've been able to do as a program is launch our brand new module aimed directly at IG and data leads. So we have the brilliant Professor Fiona Richardson, who's joining us today, who's going to take you through an introduction. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So this is a really big webinar. There are an awful lot of you online today, so your cameras will be off and you won't be able to speak. But we do have the Q&A function. So if you do have any questions, we've got staff in the background who will be answering them as we go, or we'll be able to pose them to Fiona throughout the session, and you'll have time at the end for her to address anything. But as you go through, if you do come across any questions, please do pop them in the Q&A chat. And without further ado, I'll let Fiona crack on.
Thanks very much, Michelle, and I've shared my screen, so hopefully you can see some slides. Somebody just give me a nod or tell me if you can't see data security and protection eLearning for Leads slides.
You can see it fine, yeah. Thanks
very much. Okay, so I'm Fiona Richardson. I'm the Director of the Institute of Public Care at Oxford Brookes University. And I've developed these, I would say this, wouldn't I, excellent slides. Now, bit of context of why, and that's because GDPR, data protection law, as well as the National Health and Social Care Data Security Standards, require that all social care providers train their staff in data security and protection at least once a year, and for the person responsible for data security and protection to have specialist training. And if you know about the Data Security and Protection Toolkit, if you've ever completed it, you know that that is requirement 3.4.1 of the toolkit. And as Michelle said, we know it's really difficult to find training on data protection and security that is specific to social care staff and really works. There's few courses out there, but nothing that's free, easy to access, and sector specific. So that's why we created, last year we created a course for frontline staff, care staff. And now we're building on that foundation by releasing this new course for data security and protection leads. The best things about the training, and I'm going to say this word a lot, it's free, okay? It's packed with really relevant scenarios to adult social care services, and it's good. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? But let me take you through it and demonstrate it so you can see why we think it's good. So this new course is specifically for staff who take overall senior responsibility for a care provider's data security and protection work. And we've designed it specifically for those staff, particularly in small to medium-sized care and support organisations. And we've used the term data security and protection lead to describe this role. And that core role is to champion data security and protection good practice and ensure it's implemented. And so to do that, to implement good practice, you need to have knowledge and skills around data security and protection. And this is what this course means. And it builds on our existing eLearning course for frontline staff, but covers the topics and responsibilities in more detail. And the first thing I would say is I'd strongly recommend that you do the other training first, unless you're very experienced in this area, and then progress onto this more advanced course. And the course introduces why data security and protection is important and shows you what you need to do to keep data safe in your organization. There's 4 modules, called them bite-sized e-learning modules, hopefully that you can do in your own time, in stages rather. Each one takes about 10 to 20 minutes. And you can come back to the e-learning at any time. You can access it on phones, mobiles, tablets, whatever you like, and it's free to access from the Digital Care Hub website. And just say that when we developed this e-learning, we tested it with people working in adult social care to help us ensure that the materials are realistic and meet the needs of the sector. And we think they're relevant to all types of care organisations in adult social care. And we created a character. So this graphic here, this is Alex, who's a fictional deputy manager for ASA Home Care. And if you do the e-learning, you and Alex will go through a journey to learn lots of good practice. And if you click into it, you'll see that there are 4 modules. So if you go onto the website, and I will demo it in a moment, this is what you'll see. There's guidance and links to the modules. So you can see here on the left-hand side, there's a guide to completing the modules. There's learning outcomes. There's a copyright statement, and there are links to some videos. Because each module ends with a short video, about 1 minute each, that recaps key learning from that module. But you can watch those separately if you like. So the first module is about data protection rights and responsibilities. So what is this thing called the Data Security and Protection Lead? Why is this role important in adult social care? And if you are one, what's your responsibility? Second module, keeping data secure, is your role in managing information within your organisation and understanding how an organisation can protect people's rights by managing information security risks. The third module is all about threats to data security, so knowing how to be better prepared and recover quicker in case of a cybersecurity incident. So that third module is all about cybersecurity. And the fourth module is about data breaches, knowing what they are, but crucially, how to respond, what your role is in case of a data breach. And if you go into one of those modules, you'll see something like this. This is a screenshot of module 4 about data breaches. And you can see that each one has multiple sections to work through. They all start with an introduction that says what are the learning outcomes for that module. There's content in the middle, in this case 5 pages of information, and there's a recap at the end to reinforce learning. Now each module contains short videos, interactive content, multiple choice questions to embed learning, summaries of key learning points, and a glossary of resources. And wherever you are in the module, if you want to go back to the home page, you can click on this top left-hand corner. I've circled it in red here. Be able to take you back to a page showing you all the sections of that module. You click on it and you go back to the home page. And that's how you get about in a module. Just something else I wanted to point out to folks. There's multiple interactions throughout the learning. You can see here that wherever you see a round button with an arrow in it, that means that there is further screens. And if you click on it, you'll be taken to the next set of content. So that's the interactions. You can move backwards and forwards through the messages. And you'll also often see boxes like this, where you can click on a box or something else to expand to see more information about a particular topic, like a flip chart. Most of the interactions and learnings will come through sort of multiple choice examples like this one. So short content in relevant scenarios. This one is a question about Alex, our deputy manager of ASA Home Care, sending an email. And there's a question here. Is this a data breach? Yes or no? Okay. So just select the one you think's right. And you'll be provided with an answer, some feedback based on your multiple choice question, saying whether it's right or wrong, but crucially, why it's right or wrong. And there's some more information. In this example, we click no, it's not a data breach. That's the correct answer, so I'm told it's correct. And I get a short explanation of why it's not a data breach. The other sorts of interactions in the training is some sort of confidence sliders, and here is an example. This one says, how confident are you that all your staff or volunteers in your organisation would report a data security incident or data breach? Would they know how to do so? And prompts you to think about that and reflect on your own organisation and move the slider. And here's another example, a stop and think. Do you know what backups are in place for your organisation? And there are links here, in this case, this example, to the National Cybersecurity Centre guidance for small businesses, but also just wanted to point out the top left-hand corner, circled in red here. There are links to resources. There is a separate resources section where you can click through to all of the resources relevant to that topic area. Okay. There are recap videos. I think I mentioned that. So at the end of every module, there's a short video of about a minute that you can watch or read the transcript to tell you the key points. Last few things I wanted to point out here. There's no assessment with this e-learning, but you can download a certificate to prove that you've completed this training. You have to have worked through all 4 of the modules, and assuming that you've done that, when you get to the end of the 4th module, you'll see this screen, download a certificate. So if you do that, you'll be prompted to enter your name, and it will generate your own certificate, and you can save it and keep it as proof for your CPD. A couple of things I did just want to point out here. Copyright and commercial usage. I think I've mentioned that this training is free several times. It's free, but the license that we're publishing under means you can't sell access to this course to others. So if you're a commercial training organisation, you can use it, fill your boots, but you must acknowledge Digital Care Hub as the owners, and you can't charge for your part training course. But we'll put these links in the chat on the Q&A function. There's a guide to completing the course. I suggest that you read it first, but the key points are, when you first do it, set aside about 15 to 20 minutes to get started. Obviously, make sure you've got access to the internet. Begin with module 1 and work your way through. And when you've finished module 4, you can download the certificate. But don't forget that you can re-watch any of the modules anytime. We access the course this way. Last thing that I would point out is at the moment, because we think there's a much more limited audience for this course, unlike the one that we developed last year for frontline staff, we've not developed this course as a SCORM function so that you can download it into your learning management system if your organisation has one. So it's only available on the internet. But if you would like that functionality to have it available as a SCORM file, let us know and email us at Digital Care Hub, and we might develop one. Okay, so that's a rather quick run through. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you to the page in Digital Care Hub where the information is. It's here, Digital Care Hub, Digital Skills and Training, eLearning, Leads. We'll give you that link. So this is the live page. I'm going to see if my internet is working well enough to give you a demo. So there's the user guide, and there's modules 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. For the sake of time, I've already opened module 1. If I go to the beginning, this is what it looks like. There's an introduction. It says the learning outcome for this module. And we go to the first bit of content, which is about what a data security and protection lead is. And you can see here, I'll just demonstrate. There's lots of buttons to click and more information will continue. I could go on. And there is a multiple choice question here. Who should know about data security and protection? And if I just say just administrators, you know that's the wrong answer. And I click submit. It says, no, that's not right. Everyone who have access to personal data should be aware of the risks of data security and protection. If I go back to the home page, you can see that I've completed the introduction, that was the learning outcomes, and I've part completed the first section here. And I'm also going to go through to the responsibilities. You can see there's lots of flip cards like this, and there's a video that says data security and protection lead. I won't play that right this second. More scenarios and things to choose to submit the answer. And if I go to the recap at the end, I haven't completed this one, but I'll just demonstrate the recap here. And I think you should be able to hear this one. So this is 1 minute's worth of video right at the end.
In every social care organisation, there should be one senior person responsible for data security and protection, the Data Security and Protection Lead. Their job is to champion good data security practices, ensuring policies are followed and implemented across the organisation. While day-to-day tasks can be delegated, the lead sets the standard and leads by example. They must make sure everyone understands why data security is crucial and the risks of not following the right procedures. Importantly, the lead should recognize their own knowledge limits and seek advice when necessary. This ensures data security is consistently maintained, keeping both staff and service users protected. In short, the Data Security and Protection Lead plays a key role in safeguarding personal data, helping to build trust and delivering better care.
Okay, at that point, I'm going to stop sharing and to see if there's any questions that come up with. I'm very happy to demo again or answer any questions. Rihanna,
We
how are
do
we doing?
have a question, Fiona. So this person's asked, how often should they undertake this training, and should leads also undertake the e-learning for frontline staff annually alongside this leads training? And separately, just with the audio, we've had a couple people say it's sometimes a little bit quiet, so I don't know if you're able to move the mic closer, or maybe that might help, but yes, just
Okay,
that.
my audio.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I have to say, I think my internet had a bit of a funny few minutes in the middle of that one because I got a signal up. So apologies for that. I'm under a bit of a storm here where I live. So I think my internet went a bit. But is that audio a bit better? Hopefully. I will try and speak into the microphone. So to the question about how often, the Data Security and Protection Toolkit says that everyone needs to do training annually. And the leads, people with responsibility, have to have training at some point. So you only need to do this training once, but leads, like absolutely everybody else, has to have annual training. So it's up to you whether you do this one annually or you do the one for frontline staff annually. As long as you do some training every year, that's okay. Hopefully that answers your question, but put something else in the chat if it doesn't.
That's great. Thank you, Fiona. Another question we've had come up just now. Sorry, I couldn't hear that well. Is this now available as, is it now available as a downloadable SCORM?
No.
I'll let you answer that. No, go on, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, the other training, which is available for all staff, is a downloadable SCORM. You can put it in your LMS because there's, potentially millions of people and thousands of organizations. This one we think is only for sort of relevant for 1 or 2 people in an organization, the people with responsibility. So there's much, I guess, less need to monitor that for your staff group as a whole. So we started off by it's only at the moment only available on the Digital Care Hub website. However, we're happy to monitor that. So, tell us why. If you think that it's really needed and why, send us an email and we'll think about it. And, if there's a demand for it, I'm sure we can put it as a SCORM file, but there isn't at the moment.
Lovely, thank you, Fiona. And just one more question's come up. Says the clip provided referred to a single DP lead at senior level. However, the training where's it gone? However, the training appears to aim at data owners as leads. Does the training content differentiate between the two types of leads? And sorry, can I just ask everyone if you're able to please use the Q&A function instead of the chat so that the questions don't get lost?
Okay. I think there was a question about the different types of leads. So this training has been specifically designed for the smaller care providers. In the first section, which I didn't show you towards the end of the first module, goes into detail about the different types of specialist roles that you could have, because it depends on the size of the organization. So you've probably heard of a Caldecott Guardian, a data protection officer, senior information risk officer, etc. Some organizations have several people and they split the different roles and responsibilities between, say, 4 people. Smaller organizations don't have the luxury of doing that, and they often merge all of those roles into one person, which we've called a data security and protection lead. But you could have that job, those functions could in practice be split between 2 people. You could delegate some. So there's not necessarily one person, but we've just referred to it as a data security and protection lead. So Rihanna, does that just your sense check of whether that answered the question? There's not necessarily one single lead at a senior level. But what we're trying to get at here is those small organizations that maybe just have one person doing all of this stuff, but it will depend on your setup.
Yeah, I think that answers it. I mean, there should be one person at least who has overall responsibility in an organization. So yeah, I think that answers it. It's not necessarily limited to one, it depends on the org. Couple of other questions here. For the leads, will the training as per Digital Care Hub suffice, or would the leads need more specialist training from external organizations?
Okay, again, if you're in a small organization and you are a data security and protection lead, this training will suffice. Although, well, there's a bit of a nuance to that, is that in the training, there's some information that you can do yourselves. So the training is aimed at you. But we also recognize that you may not have the skills in, say, cybersecurity to do everything yourself. So it gives you examples of what you need to sort out for your organization. So it could still be that you need to go elsewhere. And as I said, some of the larger organizations may have specialist roles like data protection officers, in which case you'd need other training. And the same for Caldecott Guardians. But for everyone else, this training should suffice for the leads.
Fantastic, thanks, Fiona. One more question here, well, a couple more. Does this training replace the course on e-learning for healthcare? I'm not sure which.
Well, yes, it's a social care version of it. So it covers, so the e-learning for healthcare course is, well, there's the e-learning for healthcare course, if it's the one I think you're talking about, then the one that Digital Care Hub produced last year for frontline social care staff well, it's a social care version of it. So you could do either. And if you're in a healthcare role, that one might make more sense to you. But this is the sort of the social care equivalent. And in that respect, replaces it, yes.
Fantastic, thank you. A few more questions. This person says, we have multiple sites and leads for each. If we are to recommend this training to our managers, we would really need it as a SCORM package so we can monitor the uptake. Managers sending us copies of certificates just won't happen. So some feedback for us there. Is there anything you'd like to say to that one? Or
no, just tell us that, that's great. That's kind of what we need to know, to hear, to understand the demand, to kind of do the extra bit of work required to get SCORM files, I suppose. So that's really helpful feedback. Thanks.
Thank you. Next question. What are the parameters of a small organisation? Is it led by staff members that the leads oversee? I'm not sure I understand that one.
Or you mean, how would you define a small organisation? So small tends to be defined as single, well, or a large organisation is usually multi-site, perhaps with dedicated staff in roles such as IT, HR, and estates. You'd process large volumes of care records. You wouldn't need to have a data protection officer, whereas the smaller ones tends to be either single site or only a couple of sites, no dedicated specialist staff in those information governance and IT roles, say. I would go by sort of volumes of care records and numbers of sites and that size. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That was a 2-in-1 there, because another person asked what your definition of a smaller organisation would be. And the last question, which is this just for staff or leads? And I'll let you answer that.
This one is for leads. Okay, I would not set your care staff, your ordinary staff members onto this. We have already, Digital Care Hub has training for staff. I'm just seeing if I can get that up? Okay, might be useful if I share my screen again, I think. Yep. So Rhiannon, if you got that, you can be looking at my internet. So this is Digital Care Hub.
No, I can't see the screen just now, just your background. Oh,
got it. See if I click on the right button, doesn't it?
There we go.
Yes, okay. So this is Digital Care Hub. You can get it from the front page on Digital Care Hub, but it's digital skills and training, e-learning courses. Okay, and if I scroll down a bit, you can see here we've got 2 courses, one for staff and one for leads. So this one still got 4 modules. This is suitable for anyone that deals with personal data, and it talks about what do you need to do by law, what does Data Protection Act require you to do, what do you need to do as an individual to comply with that, and how can what are the acts that you must do to make data safe. Okay, so that's that one. This second one, the one that we're talking about now that I've just demonstrated, this is for leads. I wouldn't recommend that staff without responsibility for data protection look at it, because the difference is this one's about what you as an individual should and can do, so everyone can learn from that. This one for leads is talking about decisions you need to take for the organisation. Does your organisation back up its records? What is your organisation's policy on this? And so for your average member of staff, it's not going to be relevant to them, and they're going to think, I can't make these decisions. This isn't me. So there's this function. Everyone do this one, that's great. And the people with responsibility do that one. So this one here, that was, these are the modules that I've just been demonstrating. Okay. So keeping data secure, threats to data security. So if you look at this one, it's about cybersecurity. So it's about how you could prepare for cyber threats to be better prepared for it, how to prevent them. What do you and your staff need to do about digital devices to keep them secure? How do you protect your digital systems? Your digital supply chains, what you need to ask of the IT suppliers or other system suppliers that you buy from, and then the recap. So as I hope you can see that I think that that's very much aimed at people with responsibility. We're probably talking managers, deputy managers, senior admins, maybe a very hands-on owner, something like that, or an information governance lead, that kind of a person. Again, I'll stop sharing there. Hopefully that answers that one.
Yeah, I think so. And that's all of the questions oh no, we've just had one come in. Does data security e-learning replace NCSC's cybersecurity training? And which one would you recommend for frontline staff, please? And then we've just got Iris with her hand raised for after the question. So
Okay, so does the data security protection for staff replace the National Cybersecurity Centre training? Was that the question?
yes, yeah.
Yes. If you're somebody working in a social care organisation, I would do the data security and protection staff training. It covers the same topics, and I'm not embarrassed to say that when I developed the staff training last year, we were given permission to, by the way, but I started off in the cyber module looking at the National Cybersecurity Centre staff training and nicking all of their good ideas. So it covers that topic plus wider, because the Cybersecurity Centre training does what it says on the tin. It only covers cybersecurity risks, whereas the Digital Care Hub one covers cyber and other wider data protection issues that are not related to digital systems. Okay, so it kind of covers wider training and is more relevant to staff. So yes, I would say it does, and you'd be better to use the staff training.
Lovely, thank you, Fiona. And just another question, which I was typing the answer to, but I can't type that quickly, so I may as well ask. So can we track staff members' progress on the training?
Only if you download it as a SCORM and you're learning your own learning management system. If you're using it on the website, then you can't, because it's not part of a learning management system. You'll just have to rely on the people completing it and then generating the certificate. So was that for the leads? Oh, it's the same for the leads or the staff training. You can only track people if you download the SCORM file. So for the training for staff that already exists, is available as SCORM files. You can download it and put it on your LMS, and therefore you can track your staff's progress. But at the moment, you can't do that for the leads training.
Fantastic, thanks, Fiona. And Iris, if you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to access either of the courses, it's literally digitalcarehub.co.uk/e-learning, and you get access to both of them. And you'll also find information about how to get the SCORM versions of the training for staff. And on the one for leads, we've opened the question up saying, if you would be interested in the SCORM version, let us know and we'll get back to you. And there's an email address to contact.
Perfect, thank you, Iris. And just another question's popped up for you, Fiona. Are the CQC standards embedded in the e-learning? For example, any examples of how we're meeting well-led by following this, etc.?
I suppose not explicitly. In the training, what we've done is explicitly shown how you can meet data security and protection toolkit standards. They are very, it's the same stuff, but what we haven't done on the training is said, this bit is CQC well led. No, it's not actually flagged in the training directly.
Lovely, thank you, Fiona. And that is all of the questions for you. So yes, just literally one just popped up here. What is SCORM?
Oh, someone always asks a difficult question, isn't it? I can't remember what it stands for. It's an acronym that means that it's a standard type of file format that e-learning can be saved in, so that you could use it on any type of learning management system. Hopefully that makes sense to people, but I can't remember the acronym.
Yeah, I know acronyms are tricky. I can not remember most of them, but I know what they'll mean. But yes, you can upload it to your learning management, and it's just the file type. So
by learning management system, Oh, somebody's put it in the shareable content object reference model. Thank you. That's probably why I couldn't remember it then, because it doesn't trip off the tongue, does it?
Thank you.
A learning management system. There are all sorts of different ones. Altura is one. In my organisation, we use Moodle. So that's software that you would use to host all sorts of different e-learning or other training.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Fiona, for leading this webinar, and thanks to everyone for asking questions. That's all the questions left, so I'll leave it to you, Fiona.
Okay, no, that's everything. Obviously, we're very interested in your feedback, and I've noted and heard today about the request for SCORM already. But please give it a go and let us know if you've got any further feedback, or particularly if there's any issues with it. We have tested it. We think it's great. We're very excited by this. And remember, free training. What's not to like?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fiona, and thanks everyone for joining. We'll send a copy of the slides, the webinar recording, and a link to the training following this.